Welcome, Gemini, to your December monthly forecast for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. The month begins with the Sun in your sector of relating, and also Jupiter, which has been in this sector for the last year, just enters its last 2 days in the sign of Sagittarius too. So as we go into this last month of the year, there is a tingle of excitement as Jupiter on the 3rd makes its way into your sector of longer term resources and also deep commitments. Over the next year, in fact through to the 20th of December 2020, you have an opportunity to grow an area which may have proved to be a bit problematic over the last couple of years. This is because Saturn, the planet of structure, has been making its way through the sign of Capricorn. Although Pluto has been pushing you to make some changes since 2008, there may have been a sense of real strain or pressure to reorganize things to make sure that you're micromanaging your costs and reducing your expenditure. If you're a natural entrepreneur, it may not have been the easiest of phases. Jupiter arriving in the sign of Capricorn can help to lift the more repressive energy of Saturn. Now, as we start this month, also Venus, the planet of love and attraction, is in this sector, and that points to a potentially sensual introduction to this new month. But Venus is also alongside Ceres, the asteroid of nurture and protection. So I do feel that there's going to be some kind of reward that comes to you this month, Gemini, but it's probably going to be born from very hard work, application, discipline and changes that you have been making, but particularly over the last year. And part of the reason why the pressure has intensified in that particular direction of your situation is that Saturn has been very close to Pluto. And of course, these are the two power brokers of the outer planets, the higher octave influences. And indeed, as this month goes on, they're going to get closer still, particularly in the last 4 days of this month. But what we do have is a very influential impact of Mars. And Mars starts this month, along with your ruler, in a very practical part of your situation, which can see your energy good, and you can be very proactive in terms of micromanaging details. But of course, Mercury did go through a retrograde, which it only emerged from on the 19th of November. The retrograde began on the 31st of October. And if there were some details that were causing some jagged edges, it would be understandable. Now, by the 7th of this month, Mercury returns to the place where that process began. So it comes out of shadow, goes back to 27 degrees of Scorpio. So for you, if there has been something that has been a bit brittle or a bit tricky, with Mars in this location as well, it is going to be important not to rush to judge, to try to keep your eye on the big picture, something that you're generally pretty good at. But on the 4th of this month, we do have a quarter moon. And this quarter moon is going to be embracing the rather nebulous energies of Neptune, which can create a degree of distortion. And in the following week, if you are trying to liaise with anyone remotely official, important, influential, it is going to be important to be very, very clear on the facts. And Mercury certainly coming out of shadow is definitely going to help that. But the Sun continues its square with Neptune after the quarter moon, so it runs alongside the quarter moon, if you like, for a week. And so the potential for someone to get the wrong end of your stick is pronounced, I must be honest. However, On the 9th, Mercury, your ruler, moves into your opposite sign. Now, technically, Mercury in Sagittarius is in detriment. Well, actually, I think that this is a transit which lasts through to the 28th of December, which gives you great ability to interact successfully and succinctly with others. Mars is also going to be forging a brilliant angle from the 7th through to the 18th with Neptune. And this points towards, if you work in an arena where you use your imagination or compassion, but you're of service to people, you could really thrive, even though it is quite late in the year. In a more romantic context, from the 6th through to the 10th, Venus is forging a beautiful angle to Neptune too. And perhaps your past dedication or past kindness can come back to you in an extremely positive way. Some good karma can wash your way during that period of days. Now, the 12th does see a full moon in your sign. And if a relationship isn't working and you feel that you've bent every part of your nature to try to accommodate someone's peccadilloes, your frustration could come to the surface in the following 2 weeks. But similarly, if you're single, this full moon could give you a greater desire to interact with someone. And there is also a real bonus for you that emerges this month, because on the 20th, Venus, the planet of love, is going to be moving into your sister air sign of Aquarius. So if you are travelling over the festive periods, or you meet anyone new and very different, you could find yourself really finding a great spark of attraction, particularly in the 4 days running up to Christmas. But I have to say that the 22nd sees the Sun move into Capricorn, which is your 8th solar house, and it joins up, of course, Jupiter's already in this location. We have Ceres, we also have Saturn, we also have Pluto. But on the 26th, there is a solar eclipse. So the frustration and the pain and all that you've been through to try to get where you're committed or to manage your longer term finances more skillfully gets an incredible boost for the following 6 months from the 26th, which is wonderful. Also on Christmas Day, there's a terrific moon position for you. It's in Sagittarius, and that's going to boost your ability to liaise and interact with others in a diplomatic and harmonious way. But with Uranus clashing with Venus in the 4 days running up to Christmas, if you do find yourself attracted to someone, you might be a little bit surprised by who this person is. And it could be someone from your past, or it could be that you just have a surprise connection. It may be that it's going to be fleeting, but there could be a spark which puts you into someone's embrace, and that actually can be very nice. But whether it's a longer term and viable option, well, that remains to be seen. Now, on the 29th, as I said before, Mercury moves into the sign of Capricorn. So we're getting this bigger energy in Capricorn as the month comes to a close. And also the Sun goes into a conjunction with Jupiter. So all of this is going to give you a great deal of hope and expectation about what next year can bring in terms of the more material strands of life, but also where you're more invested. So the people and situations where you're really giving of yourself at a deeper heart level. It is true that the North Node does go into opposition with Jupiter and the Sun in the last days of this month. And that's just asking you to make sure that you do keep your books trimmed and make sure that you feel secure about your financial decisions, because the North Node, or the point of destiny in Cancer for you, is about your self-worth. So you don't need lots of loot to feel better. You need to feel that things are in balance and everything that you need to pay for gets covered with some treats and some growth and a sense that things are moving forwards. But there's another incredible development as this year comes to a close, because as it does, Venus, the planet of love and attraction, which is in your sector of discovery and adventure as this year closes is very, very close also to the midpoint between the moon and the sun. And that suggests that you could find yourself wanting to travel as the year closes, but if you do, there could be some kind of hidden bonus or added benefit that may not seem particularly obvious at the time. But if you do travel, your appreciation of your environment, the experience, the people you spend time with, or cultural aspects of it, anybody you knew you meet, can be extremely uplifting. Now, Jupiter, it is true, is technically in full in the sign of Capricorn, and you will no doubt get to know about this, but I want you to stay positive, because there's plenty of people with Jupiter in Capricorn in their natal horoscopes who end up doing very well indeed, thank you very much, when it comes to their financial situation. And I think after the dour, relentless demands of Saturn over the last year, in particular in its closer alliance to Pluto in the last 6 or 7 months in particular, I think you're just going to feel a real shift is coming, which is so exciting for your prospects for next year. Speaking of which, if you'd like to know what 2020 would hold for you based beyond your zodiac sign, on your time, date and place of birth, if you know your time, please click on the link beneath this video. You can order your year ahead forecast, get the rest of 2019 free, and get 30% off. But I'd like to offer a very sincere personal thank you. As you may know, I hadn't been very well for 3 or 4 years, and my YouTube videos particularly had to be shorter just to get through that period. But I'm really back on form. I'm so grateful for all the subs and the beautiful comments, and so much more is going to be coming from me next year. But for now, I'd like to wish you a very sincere Happy Christmas and New Year.